you are at in the
Yes.
world. And hey, do you remember this? The best part, right? Tell us if you agree. The best part about going after a goal in life is really who you become,
Yes.
right? Yes? Make sense?
Yes.
Intro? Yes. Yes. So, welcome to the Savanh Family Show. And,
I haven't sent it yet.
Huh?
I haven't sent it.
Oh, yeah. So, the big question is this. How do married couples like us who have busy schedules, run high-performing businesses, face challenges daily, raise multiple children,
and yet still remain in love, passionate, and happy like when we first dated?
That is the question, and this show will give you the answers.
Welcome to the Savanh Family Show.
Master your relationship, your life, and your business now. Welcome back, and a little bit of technical difficulties, but we got to be flexible, right? That's
Yes.
what life is all about. So,
Yep.
hey, if you have not seen or heard from us before, we just wanted to welcome you to the Savanh Family Show. My name is C. Savanh, and this is my beautiful wife, my angel, my queen, my amazing business partner, Phyllis Savanh.
Hi, sorry, I'm also the tech support guy, and I'm learning how to, maneuver all these things, right?
Yes,
so I
yes.
apologize if there's a little, glitch in the front, but I know that you're going to be loving
Yes,
this
of
anyway.
course. It's about the message, right? It's
Yes.
really not about anything else. So, hey, we're super excited. So, Thursday is our family day. Family day is the topic that we've been on this series is
Yes.
8 lessons you should avoid teaching your children. And so 8 lessons you should avoid teaching your children. And this is episode 4. And this is a really great topic that we're going to discuss. And the topic is you should avoid teaching your children that they should try to make people like them. Huge.
Yes.
This has everything to do with, influencing, right? Who's influencing who, peer pressure. This has everything to do with how they grow up and the proximity that they are involved in or they're part of, or the proximity that they create in other people's lives.
Yes.
So this is a very, very, very important topic. And, I quite honestly, as a child in my, again, love my parents, phenomenal people, but they only knew what they only knew.
Yep.
Right? So, with us, obviously world advancing, technology advancing, we're advancing as a human race and as people to really grow and, learn more. So we obviously are growing quite a bit more than them, right? So we now teach our children to what to look forward to when they grow up, right? And ultimately, that's why I asked, the best part about your life, going after a goal in life or an identity or anything you want to achieve in life, is really who you become.
Yes.
Right? So that's what we're shaping. That's why this title of the series is so important. 8 lessons you should avoid teaching your children. And the topic is obviously that they should really make people like them, right? And this is going to influence them to really step up and create the identity of your children to be the influencers instead of being influenced by somebody else,
Yes.
external forces, external people, or even peer pressure.
Yes, in my family, there's 2 type of people, and I recognize that, early on in my career, because for me, growing up, I was a people pleaser. So at the end, I don't have a lot of decision making. If people ask me, what do you wanted to eat? Oh, anything you wanted to order. And then when sometimes, and at the beginning, I realized that it's okay for me. But then now, while I was starting to shape myself, I realized that, a lot of time what other people is ordering is not really the food that I really enjoy doing. But I'm just so used to people pleasing already. Sometimes, a lot of time you lost yourself. That's the reason why, it also ruined our marriage too, because I was being the person that he wants me to be, but not really the person that I want myself to be. That's why it was having so much conflict and friction. Same thing with your children. You wanted to teach them, as to be a leader, at least that's what I want. If I have to do it again, for myself, I would like myself to be grown as a leader and not a people pleaser.
Yes.
And in this lesson, we just really want to tell you, it's, to let your children know it's okay to not please people all the time.
Yes.
You know, it's okay to say no, because, you know, they're just going to turn out to be so much more confident. And again, when things is not going the way that they needed it to go, they're not going to be influencing by the peer pressure. Because trust me, man, that's one thing that I'm nervous about. You know, that's why we are always checking out their friends and their friends that they're surrounding themselves with. Because if one of them have crazy ideas, you know, everybody else will get pressure into doing it. But the right kid, the kid that have the most confidence, will say, you know what, it's okay. I don't have to prove myself to you. I'm just going to walk away. So then you will keep them away from trouble.
Yeah, you're basically shaping their, you know, everything that we share with you guys, if you have noticed, that involves on business day or relationship day or, or your family day like it is today, or your intimate relationship, it really has to do with cultivating or really, adding value to you in terms of your belief system or shaping belief system. So, teaching your children to, that it's, to get people to like them versus being themselves, is really huge, because you're really, shaping their belief system to feel like they are enough. Right. So, okay, guys, if you have not seen, this is a series. So if you have not seen our last, previous series, episode 1, 2, and 3, please look at it. It's here on YouTube.
We're gonna send it, share it with you, at the end of the card.
Yes. And then, also, please look forward to the next episode. There's going to be 4 more episodes coming up, because this has 8 lessons total. So and then if you like this series, please hit the like button, comment again a takeaway, or comment something that adds value to other people who are listening that really has helped you with your children. That'd be awesome. I would definitely love to learn. And then share this if you believe that somebody really needs this, a family needs this. You see a parent or somebody you love, not training their children right or being the best example in this area. This will impact their child and their family. Please share with them. We would love to be in every heart, every home, every business as much as possible, so that we can impact lives. So again, there'll be links below, guys, for additional trainings that we have. And if you want to learn more about us, please, there's in the description section has all of that. Okay. So again, the topic is, not teaching your children that they should try to make other people like them. And the 2 tips that we have for you, 3 tips. I'm sorry, 3 tips. 3 tips. The first tip is teach them to be themselves, that it's okay. Okay. Teach them to be themselves, that it is definitely okay to be yourself. Right. This will help them with peer pressure. Especially if, quite honestly, when I grew up, things that I did as a kid, as a teenager, that I shouldn't have done, right? I look back at those things and I'm like, oh, peer pressure, right? And at that moment in time, what caused me to cave in and do those things was because I was not, comfortable with being myself. I didn't feel enough. I didn't feel confident enough to say no. And I just said, well, since they're doing it, I'm going to do it too. Because again, I want them to like me or think I'm cool, right? Things like that. And I just, then at that moment in time, I wasn't myself. Does that make sense? So let us know. You probably have done something. You don't have to tell us what rules you broke or, anything like that. But tell us, something that you're like, yeah, I felt the same way. And this is what happened. And I did this, and I did. There were things that I did that I, as a younger kid, that I'm like, why did I do that, right, as an adult? And I look back at it now, but yes, I wasn't taught really to be myself, to say, no, that's not me, that doesn't represent me, that doesn't represent my identity. And, through life, what we do is every single day as human beings, children or adults, we live in a way where we really focus on living out our identity. That's one thing that we have constantly to do, right? But if your identity isn't there, where you're like, I can't just be myself, I have to be influenced by other people because I have to get them to like me. Well, that now you got conflicts, values in conflict, where your identity is really not your true identity. So
yes, I mean, same thing. We are all born to want to fit in. We want to feel belong. The question is, belong to where? Is it in the right group, right? And, I think that's the very important piece. Is it themselves? I know that, in the past, I was always a good student. But there's time there's time that, my friend tell me to skip school, and like, I dare you, I dare you, you're going to do it. The first time doesn't work, second time doesn't work, the third time it works, and I skipped school with them.
You skipped school?
Nothing
Wow.
went wrong, right?
I never would have thought you skipped school.
I was smart school skipper, by the way.
Okay. I was a skipper of the skipper.
So it didn't end up too well, but I mean, we didn't get punished for it. But again, would I do it again? It is obviously fun. But is it the right thing to do? I don't think so. And it was kind of dangerous because I don't know how to swim. And we were kayaking actually after we skipped school. Think back. But again, why? Because I wanted to fit in. Is there something wrong with it? There's really nothing wrong with it. It's just part of growing up. I mean, every kid will get through some of those rebellion and say no and cave into peer pressure. But again, teach them to be themselves so that, whenever, it really depends on the level of danger and the level of, that crossroad that he's going to go to, right?
Yes.
And just make sure that, you give them enough confidence and let them know that it's okay to be themselves.
Yeah. This really has a lot to do with confidence, right? For sure. So,
yes.
The second tip we have for you is really teach them about influence and peer pressure. Teach them about the actual subject, right? What is influence? Are you an influencer or are you being influenced? Peer pressure, right? Do you cave under peer pressure or, do you peer pressure your friends to do the right things?
Yes.
Right? I tell my kids all the time, are you a social media consumer or are you a social media creator? Yes. Right? Very big difference there, right? Social media, some kids are consumed by it and ultimately, quite honestly, that shapes their identity.
Yes.
It really does, especially if they're before the age of imprint, which is 7 years old.
Yep.
If they're consuming a lot of stuff that are coming their way, and that has a way of influencing them. That has a way of, peer pressuring them to, shape their identity, right? Shape their cultivating what they're thinking and what they feel and all that stuff. So it's very, very important for you to teach them, to understand what is influence, what is peer pressure, and how to handle them.
Yep.
Right? How to handle them. So.
Yes, I think, again, it's very important. And again, one of the biggest things that we always say, right? If you are the smartest person in the room, change your room.
Yep.
Right? If you're the smartest person in the group, change your peer group. Again, can you still hang out with them? Absolutely. I told my daughter all the time, if this is a friend that you need to really hang out so that you can fulfill your love and connection, absolutely go for it. However, you also need another peer group that's going to challenge you. It's going to support your dream, even though they're impossible at that time. Right. And then, and you're going to be in a group that, I'm usually not the number one in the group. I noticed that about myself. I'm not the significant driven where I have to be the number one. However, if I'm in the group, I'm usually the number 2, number 3, and I will absolutely never going to be the last one.
Yeah, your group.
So I always make sure that I put myself in a group of the peer pressure that I have is to make me move forward, to make sure that I don't slow down, to make sure that I get to the goal that I need to go. So I will constantly looking for those influence and those peer pressure so that I can achieve what I really wanted to achieve in life. Same thing with the kids. I mean, that's what I always tell them too. Hey, if this, even games, right? If this game doesn't teach you anything anymore, if this game doesn't give you added value, then, then delete them. Don't play them anymore.
Yeah.
And if my kids wanted to play a new game or a new curriculum or a new YouTube video, I would ask them, what are you going to get out of it? And my Alexander is really good at this. He would tell me, well, mommy, I'm learning this because it's teaching me, how the Titanic, having a crash, how the tornado is working. And I'm, number blocks, it teaches me how to do math, but it's entertaining in the same time. So again, it's infotainment, right? It's informational, but it's entertaining.
Totally.
So I was like, great, go for it. But then sometime he was like, oh, mommy, I have this video. I was like, well, you're not really teaching you anything. And some of them is even worse. Like, this is really not in your age group. So wait till you get that age group, then you can do that. They're like, okay, mommy, I get it.
Yes,
So.
yes. Yeah, this teaches them basically how to raise their standards instead of lowering their standards, right? At this point in time, if they say, well, this is not, I'm going to, my group, whoever it is that's doing something that if I do this, if I peer pressure myself into this, I'm actually lowering my standards, right? Or I'm going to help them, right? Be the influencer and help them by raising my standards to say no, to do these things. And hopefully my friends will come along with me and basically raise their standards as well. Does that make sense? So, and then the third tip is teach them that proximity is power. Okay, proximity is power.
Yes.
It's huge. Just like Phyllis said, my baby said, if I'm the smartest person in the room, I leave the room, I find a different room. Right? because proximity, it stretches you, right? Growth happens when uncomfortability ends.
Yep.
Right? Growth happens when uncomfortability ends. And or starts. I'm sorry. Uncomfortability starts and then comfortability ends. So that is huge, right? Growth starts when uncomfortability starts and uncomfortability ends. And this is proximity's power. It's so key because even in business, right? We have been business owners here for 15 years and life partners for 16 of those years.
Yes.
And we level up in this area all the time.
Yep.
Continuously. And in our lives, there's A players, there's B players, and C players, right? We don't like labeling them. And why? Absolutely. The reason why we label them that way is because I just, if I'm, let's say, high performing a decision that I need to make, right? That has to do with all areas of my life, business, family, everything. I'm not going to go to my C players, right? Because my C players can't give me what I need, right? No different than a coach. A coach is not going to, is not going to call upon somebody on the bench, right? To make the game winning shot. He's just not.
Yep.
The coach is not going to do it. They're going to go to, hey, Michael, you're my A player. You're getting this last shot. We're drawing up this play for you.
Yes.
Right? And then, Steve Kerr, I'm going to draw this play up for you. You're a B player that's supporting Michael, right? That's very, very important to really know that about it. And, it's not about putting somebody down or raising somebody up. It's about ultimately, where you're at, where your friends are at, where your colleagues are at. Yes. And some people you're just going to get certain things from.
Yes.
Right? So.
Yes, again, proximity is absolutely power. And again, with your children, sometimes you'll be like, well, I don't know what to say to him anymore. I don't know what to say to her anymore because they just don't listen to me. It's very simple. Find a group, go online like Girl Scout, Boy Scout, dance group, I know Tony Robbins have a Tony Robbins Youth Foundation and there's youth group in there. Totally. Get yourself a proximity group that have children's in there and then let the children hang out with each other. Because again, if you really, if you want your kids to learn how to dance, it's just very easy. Just send them to a dance school, right? Because everybody else in there is dancing. If they hang out in there enough, they're obviously going to get influenced, right? So again, it might not be the power of you telling them what to do. It's the power of you, who you connect yourself with, and then just let them hang out with them and let them tell them what they need to hear.
Yeah.
If it is from you, but just indirectly, right? It's like a curveball, it's just indirectly going to you. But again, the result will still be the same. Again, proximity is really, really powerful. Just be aware of who your kids are hanging around with. We obviously have 4 kids together. We do have a little bit of those experiences.
Yeah. And the proximity is power part is really crucial because sometimes they just don't hear you.
Yes.
Even though you say it, right? Yep. You may say it 10 times, but somehow with this proximity group, they go there and you're like, oh my God, I learned this from Tony, or I learned this from, somebody. You're like, dude, I've said that to you all your life, right? And they're like, really? Yeah. But they hear it from the group. So that's why it's so important to really help them with this group.
Absolutely.
Sure. So again, guys, we have loved it. Hopefully you have loved it as well. We love doing this. Do you guys feel it? Right? We love it. We love being in
comment below if you really feel the heart and the soul from us.
We just want to, if we could be there with you every day to help you make progress in your life, your relationship, your family, your business, we would be, right? Every single second of the day.
We're doing it right now, honey.
I know, but ultimately, if I could be even more close to you, I would. So, hey guys, look, like our video, right? Mm-hmm. We can end the show now. So, basically what we covered today is obviously 8 lessons you should avoid teaching your children. Mm-hmm. And the topic was, that you should never teach them that it's okay for them to make people like them. And the 3 tips that we are sharing with you is teach them to be themselves. It's huge. This is a confidence builder. Yes. All right. For them to say no, right? And be able to say, I'm good enough in my own body here, my own frame, that God gave me to say, you know what, this doesn't sit well with me, right? Yes. And then second is teach them about influence and peer pressure, because it's so important that they either are the influencer or being influenced, right? Mm-hmm. Just like consuming, social media, consume social media or create social media, right? Yes. So, and then the third thing is teach them about proximity. Proximity is power. Mm-hmm. Why that is so important, because they're going to need A, B, and C players in their life. No doubt. You need it. Absolutely. Think about it right now. If you created a list And it, you know, sometimes like, wow, I can't believe it. I've been hanging out with the C players all, no wonder. And most likely the result of your life, business, family, your intimate relationship is probably the result of that. Quite honestly, I'm just being honest with you here, brothers and sisters, right?
Yep.
Do that list and you'll be like, oh my God, that's amazing. I realize who my A players are, who my B players are, who my C players are, okay? So, and so thank you very much for listening. Like our video, comment, share, as well as subscribe to our channel, okay? We'll see you guys on the next series. We love you. If you like this show, subscribe now.
Remember, mastery starts here.
See you on the next show.